Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Life with B, and today I'm doing a video on my pros and cons for the Carnival Mardi Gras. We were on the October 23rd sailing, 7 days, going to Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, and Nassau, Bahamas. Nassau, Bahamas was an original stop, Grand Turk was, but because of what's going on and the numbers rising, they decided they didn't want any Americans coming. So that was the detour stop. We also were on the inaugural sailing, which wasn't planned. So we had Christine Duffy on board, we had Shaq, we had Miss Puerto Rico, Miss Dominican Republic, Miss USA, all of them were on board with us. And we had a good time. I'm gonna do a pros and cons video. Now, I don't want anyone to think what I say is a holy grail or me critiquing them to say that I would never be back with Carnival or on this Mardi Gras, because I for sure will go back. There are some things that I didn't get a chance to do, and 7 days just wasn't enough to cover this massive, massive ship. So before I get started, I am going to ask you if you would like to subscribe to my channel. I am a new vlogger and I've been on plenty of Carnival ships. This is a lifestyle channel, so it's all of the things that I do. So let's get started. I'm going to start with the cons first. Now, the first con would be the long embarkation. Now, the long embarkation didn't just start once you got inside the terminal. Before we got inside the terminal, we had to wait a good 30 minutes in the line outside of the terminal. When we got inside of the terminal, we had to wait another 45 minutes before we were even processed in. Now, I understand it's a lot of people. This was a very, let me not say very, this was a pretty full sailing. And I understand they may have not been prepared or they have been understaffed, and I get it. Another con that I didn't care for in the embarkation process was the no social distancing. Now, everyone had to wear a mask, and we weren't able to social distance because we were in line. But when we got to check in, when we got to check in, we were at a small table, like a bar top standing table, right? And there were two workers there, and they were on one side and we were on the other. Now, we weren't the only ones at the table aside from the workers. They were getting people in as quick as they can, so there was somebody that wasn't even part of our party that was standing next to us. So we were passing documents over, and then when we finished with that one, we passed it over to the next one. So the ladies to the left of us were done, so they were literally crossing over us, and we were digging in bags and moving around, and I just didn't care for that. I don't think now is the time to be cramming people in and having people on top of each other. Granted, we have had to have a negative COVID result and vaccinated, but I just didn't care for that part. Other than that, the embarkation process was pretty smooth. Another con would be the reservations. Now, what I mean by reservations is I mean dining, specialty dining. So before I got on board, it was a party of 5. We were spread among 3 cabins. So we weren't able to reserve specialty dining, and we couldn't figure out why. So I reached out to Carnival, and they were saying, oh, we're not sure why, let's see what happens. So now through the website, it wouldn't even let me get to the page, but it let the Carnival representative get further. What they're doing now is you aren't able to reserve your dining without paying for it on the spot. It used to be you can reserve it, and then when you get there, you pay for it. Now, I don't particularly care for that, because what if you have onboard credit and you plan, you have it planned out for certain things, and specialty dining happens to be one of the things that you want to use it for? You cannot do that. You have to pay with a card or Carnival gift card, but you have to pay it right then and there. And I didn't particularly care for that. That's something new. I don't know if it's because of COVID. I don't know if it's because it's a new ship and it's so many specialty dining venues. I'm not sure, but I don't care for that. I hope they go back to the way things were. But just beware of that. Beware of that cost ahead of time. I'm a planner and I like to have everything paid for before I get to my destination. So all I have to worry about is maybe spending money. And that kind of throws a loop into things. My third con would be the room steward. Now, this is a rare occasion. This has never happened to me before. Normally, when you get on board, the steward or stewardess make it their point to see who you are, put your face with a name, and get very familiar with you. They ask you, when would you like them to come clean up? They normally do 2 times a day, but because of what's going on right now these days, they're just doing once a day. Now, my cruising companion that I was with answered the door while I was in the shower, and they decided on 6 p.m. cleaning because we had early dining. So when we left for dinner at 6 p.m., we came back and we kind of took our time, and our room hadn't been touched. So we went back outside and we were gone, you know, like maybe through the late dining time. Our room still hadn't been touched. Okay, cool. We're gonna go to bed, try again tomorrow. We get up, we go to C-Day brunch, come back, our room still hadn't been touched. Our room wasn't touched until late the second night, and it wasn't the 6 o'clock dining time. So like I said, that maybe they were overwhelmed or something has come up, but that never happened. I did not lay eyes on my stewardess until disembarking. I kid you not. We were leaving out and he was like waiting outside of our room in the little hallway area getting cleaning supplies. And he said, "Oh, hi, how are you?" I said, "I'm fine, how are you?" That was the only time I spoke to him. If I had anything that I needed done, if I needed more towels or anything, because there was times when he didn't come at all. And he didn't bring them himself, he sent someone else to do it. So, you know, beware of that. I didn't speak on it because, like I said, I was thinking maybe, you know, they were overwhelmed or just got behind or maybe just forgot, you know. But that was exclusive to this one sailing. I've never experienced that before. The fourth con would be the app. Now, there's a few things dealing with the app. It is hard to access, meaning I had issues with it. It would work sometimes, sometimes it wouldn't work. Aside from that, I like to unplug while I'm on vacation. I like to put my phone up and not worry about it, and maybe occasionally take pictures, but you are forced to use that phone. You have to use the Carnival Hub app to check in for dining. You have to use the Carnival app to see what's going on, because they no longer put the fun times in the room. If you want the fun times, you have to go to guest services and get it, like physically go get the paper. I asked my room stewardess for it. They said we don't give it anymore. So you have to use that phone, and I don't care for that. I don't like I don't care about charging my phone. I don't want to look down at it. I just don't want to be bothered with my phone, and you have to on the ship. And I get it. They're trying to avoid the touch points, and you know, I get it, but I just don't like that. I am a paper kind of lady. Let me see what I'm looking at. I can highlight it or mark what I want to do, but the app doesn't always show all of the things that are going on in, you know, hour by hour like the paper does. The next would be, you couldn't check into specialty dining if you had assigned dining. Now, what I mean by that is we had 6 o'clock assigned dining, and we were like, okay, let's try some specialty dining some nights. You know, you kind of get tired of the same menu at the main dining. So we went to go check in to Bonsai or Cucina, the Italian restaurant on board, and it would not let me do it. And at first it just wouldn't let me do it at all. And then the second or third attempt, it said you cannot check in to specialty dining if you have a time dining until 8 p.m. So if I have 6 o'clock dining and I want to go eat dinner at 7 o'clock or 5:30 or even 6 o'clock dining time, because I have an assigned dining time, you can't even, the books don't even open until 8 p.m. and it's first come, first serve. So if there's other people waiting on the ship, they're waiting literally by their phone to check in. I don't like that, because I didn't know that that was a thing until we were on board, until I spoke to someone in the dining staff. I did not know that was a thing. Had I known that, I would have got my time dining from the very beginning, because that gives you the freedom to try all of the restaurants that you want to try. If you want to go to a different one every night, you can. That is very important to me. I did not know that, and I feel like that will save so many people the aggravation that it didn't save me, because I was trying to figure it out. Like, for the life of me, why can't I check in? Like, why can't I do this? This is enough. Like, I'm hungry. I don't want to eat at 8 o'clock at night. I don't want to do that. So very important. That part is very, 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 very important. Okay. The next would be, there aren't many vegan or pescatarian options. Now, there are many dining options on the ship. I wasn't able to get into a few of them because, like I said earlier, you can't check into them until 8 p.m. if you have timed dining. So there's the vegetarian, which is the Indian dish in the main dining. And then they have salmon. And that's it for the entrees for the dining room. Now, there are, like I said, other venues, but you can't check until after 8 o'clock. They had a few good vegan options for brunch, pescatarian options for brunch also. There was Rudy's Sea Grill. I never got a chance to go. Bonsai, I never got a chance to go. And sushi, I never got a chance to go. And those were the places that had a lot of seafood options and vegan options that I wanted to try. So be aware that you may kind of get tired of eating the same things. You're not going to starve, but you may get tired of eating the same things over and over again, the same seafood options with the vegan options. The next would be, the gym is small. Normally on Carnival ships, the gym is in the front of the ship, and it's expansive, and it's the view of, you get like a 180 view of the water and the ship in front of you, right? Not this one. I could throw a rock to the other side. It was so small. It was so small. It was so small, so small, so small. And you can't wear a mask. It's not required to wear a mask if you're doing cardio. But because the cardio machines are on top of the free weight machines, and there's 2 rooms, you know, for the classes, but it's so small, you don't get a chance to really get space to move or do anything. There was literally people waiting around for me to finish using one of the benches, and I kind of felt uncomfortable, like people are staring at me while I'm working out. I don't like that. So I just, you know, finished my workout and hurried up, got up out of there. So a small gym, if you're looking for space, or if you are wanting to work out freely and not be bothered or have people staring at you, it's not going to happen on this ship unless you go at a random time. But morning time, it's packed in there because it's so small. The next would be the smaller cabins and the bathrooms. Now, the ship is bigger. They have made the rooms more narrow. The positioning of the bed and where the TV is, it's with the foot of the bed, it's kind of slim going through. 2 people can't go beside each other. And you can't walk regular without your shoulder either touching the TV or your leg touching the bed. That's how narrow it is. It's more than enough space the lengthwise, but widthwise is kind of tiny. The bathroom is tiny also. 2 people cannot get in the bathroom. You can't use the toilet and take a shower because the door swings out. Someone can't be coming out of the shower while you're brushing your teeth. You can't do it. You literally have to come out, let them get out, dry off, or, you know, walk out, and then you have to go back in. It's very tight. It's the smallest bathroom that I've seen. And we had a balcony room, so I don't think the size of the cabin matters. For the size of the bathroom, maybe if you were to have a suite or something like that, possibly so, but the balcony size was small. The next would be the fact that we weren't able to reserve specialty dining ahead of time. When you got on board, there were some that were booked, slam packed. Do you hear me? You couldn't reserve it for the last day, second to last day. Bonsai teppanyaki only was available for dinner for certain times. And because it sits, I think I want to say about 16 people in the whole restaurant, it fills up. Like I said, there was, I want to say, Rudy Grill, the Steakhouse, Bonsai Sushi, and there's another place that I can't think off the top of my head that I didn't get a chance to go because they were full. But I did get a chance to go to Emerald's. That was really good if you get a chance to get there. But because of how the new reservations are, before you get on board and going through the app, the restaurants and the reservations, you weren't gonna get in. It just wasn't happening. The last would be the Bolt. Now, this is the first roller coaster ever on a ship, and you hear it when it's running, and then when it gets quiet, you're like, it's awfully quiet. And it was more quiet on this ship than when the Bolt was going. Every time I try to do a reservation to get on the Bolt and we go wait in line, if it even got that far, the Bolt would stop working or something would happen, some type of technical glitch. And after the third time, I said, this is just a sign I don't need to be on here. If it keeps happening while I'm trying to get on, I'm not gonna force it. And that's that. I'll try again another time. You know, just like any other restaurant, any other roller coaster, there's technical difficulties, and I didn't get a chance to experience it. I wanted to, but I didn't. I'll go again, I'll try again. So that wraps it up for the cons. We've got the pros next. Now, the pros are the pros. I noticed them. It was enough for me to compare it to other ships, for me to remember it, first of all, and for it to be a talking point amongst our group and others on the ship as well. So naturally, the first would be the dining venues. Aside from the specialty dining where you need your reservations, there is Guy's Burgers. I don't eat that, but there's Guy's Burgers. There's the Seafood Shack. There is the street eats part of it, which is next to Seafood Shack. So there is like a pad thai place, like a steamed bun place, and a French fry place. Now, the hours were kind of weird, and I could never get a chance to catch them because it was I was either too early or I just missed it. They were too late. But there's also the pizza place, the panini place, Emerald's. There were so many dining options. You cannot eat it all in 7 days. It's not long enough. It's honestly not long enough to try everything. But the food that I had tried, there were no complaints about it. It was never nasty or just unpleasant or where it turned my stomach, you know? The venue was good in all the places that I had. The food was really good. The next would be the neighborhoods and the decor. So there was the Fortune Teller's Bar. There was the French Quarter. There was, what is the other place called? I can't remember right now off the top of my head what it's called. Brass Magnolia Bar. And the decor was beautiful. All of the velvets and the gem tones and the brass. And it really felt like you were back in the 50s with the decor and the singers and the entertainment. It was beautifully done. They executed it perfectly. There were so many spots if you wanted to take selfies, if you just wanted to record or sit, you know, beautiful, beautiful, perfectly done, well done Carnival. I love that Mardi Gras. I loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. That was the best. The next would be the amount of pools and jacuzzis. Now, the traditional pools people gravitate to would be the Lido, the pools with the jacuzzis there, and then the adults would have the Serenity deck. But there were so many hidden pools and jacuzzis. For example, my favorite one that I like to go to would be on deck 8 aft. And there's a pool straight in the back, but on the sides, there are 2 jacuzzis. Now, the jacuzzis are emptied, like starting at 4 p.m. and they don't close them till 10. So if you want to be in there uninterrupted, you can. We were in there from, I want to say 6 to 10. Nobody walked by. The pool attendant and jacuzzi attendants were there, you know, standing to make sure nothing happened, but nobody was there. Nobody walked by. Nobody even was in the jacuzzi next to us. It was completely empty. And normally that's unheard of because, you know, late night people want to go after their, after dinner or drinks or whatever and sit in a warm jacuzzi. And nobody was in there. There are so many hidden jacuzzis, whirlpools, jacuzzis, and pools that you can go to one every day. And it's like having it to yourself. And I really appreciate that because sometimes, you know, you don't want to interact. You want to just sometimes relax and feel the jets on your back, you know. The next would be the room service. Now, traditionally, room service is strictly for room, right? So through the app, you can order room service and you can have it delivered wherever you are on the ship. And at first I was like, is this real? Let's see, like I'm gonna test it out. So I went to a late movie one night and was on deck 17 in the back. Now, when I say the back, it's not like to the back where you can't see the screen, but there's a side where there's lounge chairs and then there's a set of beds where you can actually lay down and recline your head up and down. And it's on a canopy. There's 4 of them. There's 3 in the back and then there's 1 in the middle. The one in the middle is literally the perfect seat in the house because you can see the full screen. The beds in the back though, it kind of cuts the top of the screen so you can't really see the whole movie. But we were there watching a movie and I did room service and it just asked where you were at and then it asked for a selfie so they knew who to look for. And when I say I got my food so fast and it was hot, I got my food in 15 minutes and I got a chance to enjoy my food eating in front of the movie. And I like highly recommend that you try it. Like you have to try it. Like if your food is a bust or you don't like what they're serving or you're in the movies or whatever the case is and you want to order food, you can do it. It's amazing, right? The next pro would be the casino. Now, I'm not a gambler. I will go to the casino and play the penny machine because I don't know what I'm doing and I'm not interested in losing a lot of money because I don't know what I'm doing. But I like the fact that they have a smoking side and a non-smoking side of the casino. If you don't want to be bothered with the smoke, you don't have to. And it's normally all in one space. And it's normally the people that are smokers that aren't even coming to gamble go to the casino to avoid going to the smoker's deck. And they kind of crowd around. So they got away from the casino in the bar in the casino, but now they have the division. And I like not coming out the casino smelling like an ashtray. No offense if you're a smoker. I have nothing against it, but I know I personally don't want to smell like smoke if I'm not a smoker and I don't want to not be able to enjoy myself being there or feeling like, okay, I've been in there too long, it's time to come out, you know? So that's a really good thing. I enjoy that and I'm kudos for Carnival for doing that. I really do appreciate it. The next would be the movie options in the room. Now, typically when you're on a ship, you kind of bounce off whatever networks around. So you get maybe Telemundo and the same movies it's like 3 or 4 movies looping around 24 hours, 7 days a week. And you just gotta kind of guess and make sure you're catching it from the beginning, right? So, so on the Mardi Gras, they have an on-demand section where you can rent movies. Some of the movies are free. Some of the movies are $5. None of the movies are over $5. There's a good amount of free movies, and there's a good amount of a small fee movies also. And they're not older movies. They're not really outdated movies at all. And I like the fact that you can rent a movie and you can catch it from the beginning and not have to guess where it's being looped at when you turn the TV on. The next pro would be the storage. Now, the Mardi Gras is only doing 7-day sailings as of now. And normally you have to ask for more hangers, or you have to kind of move things around and get creative with your storage ideas. But with this one, I want to say there's 4 or 5 closets, and they have in some of the closets the opt down for drop down shelving, and you can do it yourself. You don't have to call the room steward. It's just a little latch, and you can use it for as much shelving, or you can alter the shelving for maybe shirts and slacks or long dresses, however you want to do it. There's also the storage in the little bin by the vanity that comes off, so you can put storage in there as well. And I appreciate it because for 7 days, there's plenty of outfit changes. Utilize the storage that there is, especially in the bathroom also with the different shelving. Under the sinks, there's plenty of shelving in the bathroom as well. The next would be the quick muster drill. Now, for me, prior to the pandemic, this was what I dreaded the most. You're outside, hot, there's no breeze, there's all these bodies. You have to wait for everyone to come in and get checked in, and throughout the whole ship before they start the demonstration. That's a no longer thing. I hope it's permanent. I really do. I really do. So you go to your assigned muster station, and they show you how to put the vest on, and that's it. You don't have to wait for everybody to get in. The faster you get out, they scan your card to show that you were there and you're on your way. You are there for maybe 45 seconds. Maybe. That's it. In and out like a rocket. Another pro would be the cold fridge. Now, normally on a cruise ship, it is a cooler. So you can put a beverage in there and you could take it out and it'd be room temperature. The outside of the can may be a little chilled, but the beverage itself was room temperature. It wasn't really cold. Now, on this one, honey, let me tell you, we have actual mini fridge, okay? I put some waters in there, and when I say they were cold, nice, crisp, cold water after being outside or being in the jacuzzi or coming back from the gym, honey, listen, thank you, Carnival. We have an actual fridge in our room. Okay. Thank you, Carnival. I appreciate you. That's all we wanted. We just wanted a little cold fridge, okay? That's it. Keep our beverages, our wine, a little chill. You know, that's all we wanted. Thank you. The next pro would be the disembarkation. We had an early flight, and we let guest services know that ahead of time. And we were supposed to be at a theater at 7:30. We got downstairs like 7:15. We didn't even get a chance to get to the theater. They were ushering us off. Literally, we never stopped walking. Our luggage never stopped rolling. And we were off the ship in 5 minutes. Literally 5 minutes. There were 2 lines first, let me say that. Because we were doing our passport, we didn't have to physically meet and touch and pull things out. We did the facial recognition. So we literally stopped at a screen, looked like an iPad type of thing. You pull your mask down, they recognize us. But 5 minutes we were off waiting for our transportation to come pick us up. No problems whatsoever. The next would be the souvenirs on board. Now, because we were on the inaugural sailing and we were on board with Shaq and Miss USA, things like that, or people like that, I'm sorry. We got souvenir books, along with souvenir books telling us all about the Mardi Gras, the original Mardi Gras. We also got postcards from Miss Puerto Rico, Miss DR, things like that, that would be in our cabins at the end of the night with our towel animals. So we got that book. We also received a free photo. I was thinking it was a photo from Pixels, like we take a picture and we get it, but it was an actual picture of the Mardi Gras, and it came in a nice souvenir photo album. So we were able to have that with us. So we got the free photo album, and the Mardi Gras book with inaugural sailing and all of the things up there with the postcards. I really love that, and it was great souvenirs to have, and I will keep them and I will hold on to them until I can't anymore. Literally, I love that. And it was just so good to show my family when I came back up my pros and my cons. Now, there are some things that I'm indifferent about. It's not really a complaint, but they're just things that I noticed. So the first would be the entertainment. Now, I can't say Carnival has stepped it up with their entertainment and their live singers and their bands and things like that, right? But it was all the same type of entertainment. There wasn't much variety. So there were a lot of singers in the main theater. And like I said, it wasn't much variety. The only singer that I liked on all of the days that I went was Marcus Anthony, and he did the Motown singing. That was a plus for them, for all of the entertainment. But like I said, it wasn't much variety, but there were more entertainment. Another thing that I noticed was which like I said, this is not a problem, it's just something that I noticed. And I heard a few people talking about it. There were an older crowd on the Mardi Gras. There were normally there's a good mix, younger, older, kids and things like that, which were their kids on board, but they were sprinkled through. But there were, I think, a good amount of the older generation than the younger generation. They had us beat. And honey, when I say they was moving around on them scooters all around, hello, they didn't care about anybody's toes, anybody's ankles. They didn't care. They was moving. They were moving, and you could tell where they were at because they had to park their scooters outside the venue. So if you're walking around, you're like, oh, it's lit in there. Like, when I say scooters lined up, like they got valet parking. Like they don't have to wait. They didn't have to wait in line. They weren't waiting for anything and anyone. They was boop, boop, move out the way. And if you didn't move, they rolling over your toes like a speed bump, okay? Okay? Like I said, this is not something to deter you from not wanting to go on the Carnival Mardi Gras, because it was a beautiful ship. It was beautifully done. And there were just, like I said, a few things that I think that people should be aware of. I ask if you please like, comment, and subscribe. This is my very first video. I'm going to be doing more. I'm going to do cruise hacks. I'm also going to post some clips and pictures from my excursion, waterfalls in DR and the dune buggies. And like I said, I'm gonna be doing sprinkles of lifestyle things in between there. I appreciate you for staying to the end of the video. Thank you so much.